first of all, excuse the wobbly camera because I'm traveling at the moment, and I have a topic to talk to you about today that is really related to travel. I get asked this question a lot, and it's how do I sell or give away everything that I own? Maybe you are heading away on an adventure and you need to fit everything into a suitcase. Maybe you've just come back for an adventure and you realize that you don't need everything that you've had except for what you had in your suitcase the whole time. Or perhaps you're downsizing and you'd like to live a more minimalistic life. Whatever it is for you, I'm sure this video is going to help you, because I get asked this question a lot. It's a really scary thing at first to think about letting go of everything that you own and the sentimentality of it and the meaning of all the things and our belongings and the way that we're attached to them. But once you do it once, it becomes liberating, energizing, and completely addictive. Personally, I've done it twice in my life now. So 3 years ago, I packed up and sold or gave away pretty much everything that I owned that didn't fit into a suitcase, and traveled around the world for a couple of years living out of that, and was incredibly happy. And then most recently, just a couple of weeks ago, I did it again, sold or gave away everything that I owned, which was quite a lot that I'd accumulated over a couple of years living in Byron Bay, and sold or gave it away once again. And I have a couple of tips for you that I hope will really help you if you're in this position. They're quite simple. The first tip is the 12-month rule. Sorry, the 18-month rule. I'm going to make it 18 months, and I'm going to be super generous here. Now, I know people who actually have a 3-month rule, and that's pretty tough. They're like the super hardcore minimalists, but let's go with 18 months for the purpose of this activity. Basically, if you haven't touched the thing in 18 months, it's gone. So as you're going through your stuff, decluttering, letting go, if you can't necessarily let go of it just yet, then pop it in a box, and if you don't touch it for 18 months, or if you're looking at it and you think, do I need this? Do I want this? And you haven't actually used it or touched it or worn it for 18 months, it's gone. Give it away, give it to someone who will love it, or sell it, or trash it. It might not be worth keeping anymore. Now, the second tip is kind of related to that, and that's to do with selling your items. Now, one of the most fun things that I've experienced is getting a huge pile of my clothes that I don't love anymore, that I don't wear or whatever, and giving them away to people that I love and seeing their faces as they go, oh, I've always loved this jacket, or I've always loved this skirt, and they pop it on and they love it, and it lights me up to know that it's going to get way more value being worn by them than by sitting in my cupboard. Or the same goes with books that I'm never going to read again, but I just loved the feeling of the sentimentality of having the book. Giving it away to someone who's going to really appreciate it and love it is so much more valuable, having the book being used and read, than sitting on the shelf gathering dust as shelf help. When you're selling your belongings, remember this: other people don't value your stuff as much as you do. And this is super important, because if you are selling things, if you're taking it away, I mean, the first time I sold everything that I own, I made next to no money, because I tried to sell it for close to what I thought it was worth or what I originally bought it for. And people just don't want to buy secondhand things for that much money. So it really says how much things are worth. And it made me very aware of what I was paying for things when I started purchasing again in the future, like rebuying things or buying something new for myself. But also, by placing that value on it, what we actually do is we are attempting to keep its sentimental value by selling it for however much we bought it for or what we think it is worth. I remember many years ago now selling a beautiful silk scarf that I owned for not very much money to a lady who really, really loved it, and I never wore it. It wasn't really my color. It was beautiful and soft, but it just never got worn by me. And so I gave it to this lady for a really, really cheap price. And I remember just feeling sick and cringing as I gave the scarf away. And the reason why was because I felt like I was doing a disservice to the person who gifted it to me many, many, many years before that. And the truth is, that's not true. So the value was in the gift and the love that was behind that gift, not in the gift itself. There's no lack of love between myself and the person who gave me that gift anymore by me not owning it. And that was a huge lesson, which felt really painful to kind of give it away at that point in time, next to giving it away. But after experiencing it, I felt so liberated and realized that I could look around at everything that I own and realize that none of it meant anything. None of it was sentimental. None of it had the meaning except the meaning that I placed on it based on where it had been or who gave it to me or what experiences it had seen in my house or whatever. So the first tip again is the 18-month rule. And secondly, nobody values your stuff as much as you do. And then finally, linking to that is that the freak out that you might have, the tiredness that you might experience, the feelings of being very emotional or feeling very vulnerable or stressed out or raw or just plain old freaking out while you go through this process, totally normal. Totally normal. You'll get to a point where you go, oh my gosh, can I really let that go? Do I really not need to keep that? And usually the answer is yes, as I learned most recently from doing the second round of clearing where I fit everything into the back of my car. And I had a really good friend help me attempt to pack everything into the back, and she kept saying, do you really need this? Do you really need this? And I'd be like, yes, I do. No, I don't. But the freak out and the feeling tired and all that, it's just a sign of resistance, and it's totally normal. So just know this and know that it's all part of the process. But it's completely liberating on the other end to realize just how much we actually require to live a beautiful life. Now, the benefits to doing this are endless. I always make more money when I do a declutter. I don't know why. I find money, checks arrive in the mail, people want to do business with me. It's really crazy and fun and weird. But aside from that, I gain more energy. And looking around my space after I do a declutter, everything that surrounds me is something that I have consciously chosen to be there and that I absolutely love, and it brings me joy. And from this place, I want to protect that energy. So my purchasing power has become completely different as well. I'm really conscious with the things that I buy, and it has this beautiful knock-on effect to absolutely everything that you do, including when it comes to relationships and friendships and work and other things that you involve yourself in your life that you start to realize either energize you or drain you. So part of the reason why decluttering can be a momentous activity is because we kind of know that it's going to bring up some stuff for us, and it's really it's kind of like a subconscious resistance to it when we first begin taking on the task. But once you do it, it's completely amazing and completely fantastic. Now, if you are someone who is looking to start decluttering your life and bringing in the things that you want, you are going to love my free Beautifully Unstoppable starter kit, which is available now on my brand new website, www.hayleycarr.tv. If you know someone who is looking to go a little bit more minimalist or travel, or is looking to downsize or sell everything they own, send them right over. If you've got comments, if you've got questions, please leave them under the video. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Or if you have more tips, then please leave them below this video and share. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.